Hi, I'm Vivian Dempsey, and I've been teaching the writing age since 1986. I've done every performance test that's ever been on the bar, and I want to share with you my analytical process for Performance Test A, PTCF, on the summer 2013 bar exam. I invite you to have a hard copy of the performance test available as you're listening to me, and also to have read the performance test just prior to listening to this so you can get the most out of it. This PT has what I would call a fool killer in it. It has the possibility of going very wrong very early on, and I wonder if any of this is something that happened to you. The assignment memo at the beginning of the file says, do not discuss the liability of individuals. Individuals in this case are individual directors on the board of the charitable corporation. The first 2.5 pages of the library are about the liability of individual directors. That is 5231 and 5233 of the Columbia Corporations Code talks about the fiduciary duty of care of directors and the fiduciary duty of loyalty, self-dealing, of directors. None of that is relevant to your answer. So that was a real temptation to go wrong. And as I was saying about time being so important on the exam, when you're in such a rush, you might have missed that, and that would have been a big miscue. Immediately following those pages of statutes is another Columbia Corporations Code statute, 5250. That is a very short statute, and all it does basically is authorize the Attorney General to institute whatever proceedings are necessary to correct a corporation's non-compliance. That's it. That's the blanket authorization for the AG to pursue whatever remedy he thinks necessary. There's a case that goes with that. It's the Orange County case. And although the facts are very different in the Orange County case, and so it's not really something you can use by analogy, what the Orange County case does is it gives you a whole bunch of ideas for what sort of remedies to use. And I'm going to put up a slide here to list the remedies that are listed in Orange County that give you an idea of what you can say. Now you apply the 5250 authorization and the ideas for remedies in Orange County to the 5 concerns that our client has shared with us about the activities in the past of SIA Corporation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, using the broad authorization and then coming up with your own ideas of what kind of remedies the AG might impose. The next statute in the library is 6511. That statute applies to the dissolution of a charitable corporation or placing it in receivership. So if the corporation is very, very far off the reservation, the AG can move to dissolve it. And there's a case that construes this statute, and that's the Sidley Hospital case. But in that case, the court says, look at these factors and don't dissolve the corporation if it can be found that these factors are favorable. And the factors are that the corporation has showed voluntary good faith to bring itself into compliance and correct the past errors. The bad actors who were on the board are gone now. No existing members of the board were involved in the fraud or benefited from it. And the overall corporation is run well with superior services and good quality services. Those are the factors that you would apply to whether or not the corporation should be dissolved. And if you remember in the assignment memo, the assignment memo first said what remedies for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's going to be the first of your issue sheets plus the Orange County case. And then as part 2, it said, should the corporation be dissolved or placed in a receivership, and that's the 6511 statute and the Sidley Hospital case and its factors. So that directly goes back to what the assignment memo said as the 2 things it wanted from you. Following those 2 statutes in the library is the IRS authorization under the Uniform Act, Section 125. And it is to file, it's a requirement to file a 990 form, which is the reporting form that a charitable contribution needs to make to indicate who its donors are, who the significant people are in the charitable corporation, etc. And that's a form that must be filed with the IRS every year. And the failure to file this form in a timely manner results in a late fee of $25 a month. If there's any fraud in a form that was filed, that is a substantially greater penalty. Luckily for us, there have been no forms filed, and so even though they probably would have been fraudulent had they been filed, none were filed, and so we escape the penalty for fraud. So the 3 issues in this PT, and here's another slide, the 3 issues are: 1, the corporation's liability for 1 through 5, and the remedies that would be imposed for 1 through 5, the 5 things listed in the assignment memo. The second is the penalty or the late filing fee for not filing an IRS Form 990. And the third issue is whether or not the AG will seek dissolution or receivership. So those are your 3 issue sheets in this PT. Going back now, once you've got your 3 issue sheets set up, this is like the setup of a cooking class where everything is laid out for you, all the ingredients, they're already pre-measured and pre-sifted and sorted, so that the cook can come in, like Julia Childs, and make it appear as if everything is quite simple and put everything together. That's the purpose of creating your 3 issue sheets. Once you've got those set up, you can zoom in on the first issue sheet and fill in the details, which are the test elements and the facts. So here's slide number 3. This is a list of the 5 concerns that were given in the assignment memo. Seminars, cleanup crew, Form 990, expense account, and cruise, and the ideas that I had for the remedies that the AG might impose for these fraudulent actions. So this is my detail on those 5 issues. You might have come up with other ideas, but these are based right on what the Orange County case gave us. So it's pretty solid in terms of being consistent with what the performance test gave you. The second issue sheet's just going to have IRS form code 125 and 25, I'm sorry, and the penalty for late filing, the fee for late filing, and the fact that we've been late and the number of months that we've been late for that. It's a very simple issue. The third issue is the dissolution receivership issue. That's going to have code 6511 on it and the Sidley case factors. Okay. Those factors should be laid out on this issue sheet with facts underneath them. That will be your 4th slide, showing you what that issue sheet looks like, filled in with all of the considerations underneath it. And that's the solution to this performance test. I hope you find this helpful.